I refuse. Oh no! The gods are falling!
In mighty Egypt, where Pharaoh's word was law and the Nile gave life to the land, a greater power was rising. The God of Israel had heard the cries of his people. From the desert, a prophet returned, not with an army, but with a staff. His name was Moses, and his voice would shake the throne of Pharaoh. Pharaoh sat unshaken on his throne, but before him would stand a man chosen by God. And from his lips would come words that would change history forever.
For generations, the children of Israel groaned under the weight of slavery in Egypt. Their cries rose from the fields and brickyards, carried on the wind of suffering. But heaven was not deaf to their pain. The God of their fathers heard them, and he raised up a deliverer.
Come on!
His name was Moses, sent to confront Pharaoh and lead his people to freedom. Moses was a man of weakness and strength, slow of speech, uncertain in himself, yet chosen by the Almighty. As a child, he was drawn from the waters of the Nile and raised in Pharaoh's own palace, adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. But after striking down an Egyptian, he fled into the wilderness, a fugitive. Yet God does not choose the strong by their power. He gives strength to the willing. From a burning bush, the Lord sent Moses back, not with armies or weapons, but with faith and a wooden staff. This man, once broken and afraid, would now stand before the throne of Pharaoh to declare, "Let my people go."
Drag the stones! Make haste!
Two brothers walked into the heart of Egypt's power, Moses and Aaron, chosen messengers of the Almighty. Before the throne of Pharaoh, ruler of the mightiest empire, they came not with soldiers or swords, but with a message from the living God. "Let my people go." What would unfold in that court would shake Egypt to its very core.
God Almighty commands you to release the Israelites. And why should I obey this God of yours? God Almighty wants the Israelites to leave Egypt to worship him.
I refuse. They will not leave. Their ways. Leave my presence at once.
Pharaoh has refused our plea. But why would he deny us? Pharaoh is stubborn, Aaron. He refuses to listen to the Lord's command. I fear what this will mean for our people, Moses.
Keep working! Move faster!
Pharaoh's heart was
those
hardened,
stones now.
and he would not listen to Moses. So Moses and Aaron departed from the royal court. But outside, the cries of Israel still rose in anguish. Men and women bowed under heavy burdens, their hands raw from endless labor,
Work
their
faster!
voices weary from suffering. The God of their fathers had promised deliverance, yet the chains of Egypt still bound them. The question now remained, would Pharaoh obey the Lord's command, or would his pride bring Egypt to ruin? In the stillness of the night, Moses sat alone, the desert wind whispering through the darkness. Then the voice of the Lord came to him. "Pharaoh's heart is stubborn, but tomorrow when he goes down to the Nile, you will stand before him at the riverbank. Tell him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, commands you, let my people go, so that they may worship me in the desert." Moses listened in silence, prepared for the task that awaited at dawn.
The God of the Hebrews sent me to tell you to let his people go so they can worship him in the desert. But until now, you have not listened. I will not let the Israelites go. The Lord said that you will find out who he is by what he is going to do. I will strike the surface of the river, and all the fish will die. The water will turn to blood, and the Egyptians will not be able to drink from it. Do you truly expect me to believe your staff can turn the mighty Nile to blood?
And Moses struck the waters of the Nile, and all the rivers of Egypt turned to blood. The fish died, and the river stank so that the people could not drink its water. Pharaoh's magicians came forward, using their enchantments to imitate the sign. But the waters remained blood. Pharaoh's heart grew harder still. Unmoved, he turned his back and returned to his palace. Yet the suffering of Egypt grew greater, for the people dug along the banks of the Nile, desperate to find water to drink, since the river itself had become death. And so began the first plague upon Egypt. 7 days passed after the Lord struck the river.
Let my people go. I know no law. Egypt obeys me. If you refuse, frogs will swarm your land. Your words are empty. Egypt fears nothing. Enough. Leave my sight.
Day after day, the Israelites groaned under heavy burdens. Their hands were blistered from shaping bricks of clay. Their backs bent low as they hauled stones for towering structures. Some toiled in the scorching sun, carrying water and timber, while others collapsed from exhaustion, yet were forced to rise again. The cries of a suffering people rose to heaven. But Pharaoh's heart remained hard. He would not listen to the word of the Lord. So God struck Egypt with another sign. The land was covered with frogs. From the great Nile they swarmed, leaping into houses, filling kitchens and ovens, even invading the royal palace itself. The frogs plagued every corner of Egypt, leaving no place untouched. And this became known as the second plague. Everywhere in Egypt, the land was covered with frogs. From the riverbanks to the streets, from the fields to the houses, there was no place untouched.
Oh no!
Pharaoh's magicians came forward, calling on their enchantments to stop the plague. But instead of ending it, the frogs increased even more, filling the land beyond measure. Yet through it all, the Lord made a difference. While Egypt suffered, the Israelites were spared, safe under his hand.
Moses, pray to your God. Remove the frogs. If they leave, will you let Israel go to worship the Lord? I will let your people go. I will pray. The frogs will depart.
And the Lord heard Moses' prayer, and all the frogs of Egypt perished. The land grew silent once more. But when Pharaoh saw that the plague was lifted, his heart grew harder still. He turned stubborn once again, refusing to let the people of Israel go. Because Pharaoh's heart remained stubborn, the Lord sent lice upon the Egyptians, and the dust of the land became lice throughout Egypt. Then he sent swarms of flies that filled the houses, the fields, and every corner of the land. Yet in Goshen, where the Israelites lived, there were no lice, no flies. The Lord spared his people, making a distinction between Egypt and Israel. When the lice and flies covered the land, Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, begging them to pray to the Lord to take away the torment. And the Lord heard Moses' prayer, and the lice and flies were removed. But when relief came, Pharaoh's heart grew stubborn once more, and he refused to let the Israelites go. Then the hand of God struck again, this time upon the livestock of Egypt. Horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats fell dead across the land, yet not a single animal of the Israelites perished. This was the fifth plague. Even after the death of Egypt's livestock, Pharaoh's heart remained hard. He would not let the Israelites go. So the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron to take handfuls of soot from a furnace and scatter it toward heaven. And it became fine dust over all Egypt, causing painful boils to break out on man and beast alike. This was the sixth plague. Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, even after the livestock of Egypt had perished. The Lord sent Moses once more, warning that his power would now strike the skies of Egypt. And so the heavens opened with thunder and fire, and a storm of hail unlike any ever seen fell upon the land. Crops were destroyed, fields laid waste, and men and beasts caught in the open perished. Yet in Goshen, where the Israelites dwelled, there was no hail. This was the seventh plague. Even after the devastating storm of hail, Pharaoh's heart remained unyielding. He refused to humble himself before the Lord. Then God commanded Moses to stretch out his hand over Egypt, and a mighty east wind carried forth a swarm of locusts. They darkened the skies and devoured every green plant, every crop, and every tree that the hail had left behind. Egypt was stripped bare, but still Pharaoh's pride endured. This was the eighth plague. During the eighth plague, Egypt was brought to ruin. Locusts filled the land, swarming over fields and villages, devouring every green leaf, every crop, and every tree that had survived the hail. Nothing was left in Egypt that the locusts did not consume. The Lord had sent Moses to warn Pharaoh, "Let my people go, that they may serve me." But Pharaoh, though shaken, hardened his heart once more. Then the Lord sent the ninth plague. For 3 days darkness covered Egypt, thick, overwhelming darkness that could be felt. The Egyptians could not see one another, nor did they rise from their places. Fear and despair filled their hearts. Yet in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites dwelt, there was light. Even in this, Pharaoh's pride would not break. He refused to let the people go. This was the ninth plague. After the ninth plague of darkness, Pharaoh's heart remained stubborn. He still refused to let the people of Israel go.
Let the blood be a sign for you on the houses where you are.
Tonight, the Lord will pass through. Let no one leave their house until morning.
After Moses gathered the Israelites and told them to mark their doorposts with the blood of the Lamb, the people obeyed. Each household did as Moses commanded, preparing for the night when the Lord would pass through Egypt. And at midnight, the angel of death passed through Egypt. In every house unmarked by the blood, the firstborn was struck down, from the palace of Pharaoh to the lowest home in the land. Cries of grief rose throughout Egypt, for there was not a house without death. Yet where the blood was upon the doorpost, the angel passed over, and the children of Israel were spared. After the 10th plague struck Egypt, the cries of mourning filled the land. Broken and defeated, Pharaoh at last summoned Moses and the Israelites. With trembling voice he commanded, "Rise up, leave my people. Go, serve the Lord as you have asked." And so, at the word of Pharaoh, the children of Israel were finally set free.